Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever it is for you. I'm Cyclo, and this is Let's Play Train Simulator. And ladies and gentlemen, it is time to introduce the ST40 in this case, a weathered format. We're going to start in Castle Rock Railroad, and I'll talk more about the railroad in a moment. But for now, this is Castle Rock Railroad. We're going to be going into the... There's not really a tutorial scenario listed here, and there's no numbered order of the scenarios, but it looks like this scenario, the classification at Monument Yard, is a guide on how to use the task manager. So I'm going to go ahead and just let this serve as our introduction, because the other ones don't seem to list themselves as introduction scenarios. So I might as well just go ahead and stick with, I'm just clicking on them so you can see what they all are. They don't seem to have anything to do with introductions. Like, none of them says that it's an introduction, so there's no clear one that we should be starting with here. Now, I can tell you that these two F7 ones are actually passenger rail related services, especially this 80-minute one, which looks like it's a back and forth trip. So yeah, it is a passenger service. So that is the case with these F7 ones, and that F7 one on Cahoon Pass is also a passenger service. We saw a platform at one of the locations along the way there that looked like a passenger platform. So we're going to look at the F7 later and look at the passenger services later on, both Cahoon Pass and here, obviously. I'll introduce the F7 between these two as well. But for right now, I want to introduce the ST40. That way I can go to the ST40 anywhere, and we can just go ahead and use that wherever it is. And we already know what that train does and what that train looks like, how it behaves. Just might be an improved model, because this is the old model. In any case, classification of Monument Yard is our so-called introduction to the task manager, which we've been using for 4 routes already in full. Let's go ahead and get into the classification of Monument Yard. I will see you inside the scenario. On the Yard Manager's clipboard is a manifest listing what he wants done. The first is to move the double stacks from track 4 to track 7. There's already double stacks on track 7, that's okay. Just push the ones from track 4 in there too. These will be heading up to Castle Rock Intermodal tomorrow. Press up one for the work order. Okay, so yeah, we have a lot of stuff to do here. Let's get it started here. We're gonna move the brake off, reverse or forward, gas on, and actually before I go too far, put a little bit of speed on. Let's make sure our switches are set correctly. Our switches were not set correctly. Good thing I checked that. Good thing I checked that. I'm just going to make sure all the switches are set just so I can move forward, but I'm not going to be going all the way forward. Where I'm going to be going is right here, which is Intermodal Freight Yard 4, Monument Yard 4, sorry, I got to get my terms correct, Monument Yard 4. So just that first track here, I'm going to be moving that switch when I'm done. So I'm going to keep that active on my screen. Let's move forward again. I'm just going to go a little slowly here. I don't need to go too fast. I'm going to be ready to hit the switch up here, and then we're going to be moving. Oh, a train went by. Let's check it out. 1502. Ignore all the other labels. We have a lot of things to do here. That's why everything's labeled. So we're getting up to this switch right here, as I advertised, and we're looking at the wrong spot again. Thank you very much. The switch I'm going to be looking at is this one. I'm not going to hit it yet because I will derail. You keep moving me back, darn it. I hate that it does that. I wish it would just stay put. So I shall hit the brakes now. And I shall flick our switch. We're going to go backwards now. Now, when I did previously... Whoa, hold on. Stop. Wrong one. I just realized I have the wrong one. That's not the train I want to go to. Track I want to go to. Let's go to the correct track, shall we? Let's go up one more. To make my life easier, I'll just go ahead and do that right now. Gotta make sure you go the correct track or you're in trouble. So we can go backwards now to that track. That's where I want to go. Now we're good to go. And we're going to back up now. So we're going to slowly get there. I've taken the gas off, as you can see, because I want to back up at a reasonable pace, not just go breakneck into this thing. So we're going to take a look from the sky here. That's too high. That should be good for now. So I'm going to wait for it to come in. I need to slow down. I'm coming in too hot. That's a pretty good pace, but I need to take the brakes back off. And finish coupling. Excellent. So we need to, you notice that we only have to drop off 3 of the cars here. That means we actually have to back up a little bit and cut off 3 of the cars. But I'm going to actually do it up here at the front because I want to do it closer to the switch point. We're going to be coming back to connect to these cars. So we're going to go ahead and put the reverser back forward. I'm going to wait for the train to come along. At a very slow speed, preferably. I'm going to come back here. And when 423893, I believe it is, comes into view, I'm going to go ahead and cut off the rest of the cars. So I'm maintaining a low throttle right now. You're going to see if I back up here, the train is going to be coming along. There it is. So I'm going to start to slow down now. I don't want to go too fast because I have to cut these cars off at some point. In fact, right about here is probably a good spot to cut them off. I'm going to start applying brakes now. And release them. With the air brakes, I would not be using the brakes in this fashion, but I'd actually be riding the brakes in the yard. But this is an older model of the train. So as you can see, I'm not going to show you around the SD40 so much yet, because there's no point. I'm going to basically be showing you a very old model of the train that doesn't have all the functionality that the new models do. So I want to show you the correct model, or a more updated model when I actually show off the train. Right now, what I will show you, now that I'm in the cab, what I will show you is that we do have the brakes here. This is the dynamic brake, the throttle, which you can see I'm moving here. The reverser is down here. And this is the train brake, which I'm going to be using a lot on this model. Sander is in there as well, but I don't think it works on this one. I don't think there is a sander on this one. There is a bell, obviously. There is that's an AWS, which doesn't mean anything to me. So it's an AWS, there's a bell, there's a horn, there's the bell. Bit of an annoying bell, so I'm not going to use it. So I'm back up to 8, which might be a little bit fast, but again, we can hit the brakes when we get far enough. We have a switch that controls 3 different tracks here. So we're going to be getting past that switch. We're going to have to probably edge onto the main track to do it. So I'm prepared to do that. Thankfully, the signal is green for us to edge onto the main track if needed. Yeah, we'll now hit the brakes. We actually did not edge past the signal. Look at that, right on the edge of the signal. You would think that was done intentionally and perfectly. So the switch I went loose instead of mini-map, but the switch I want to adjust is this one. You can see we're dropping off onto these cars. So I'm going to move this switch twice to get to the correct track. And then I shall reverse. And away we go, maybe. Fantastic. Let's move back to those cars. I'm going to go ahead and couple to them, but then I'm going to go ahead and back up just a wee bit to make sure we have plenty of room here. So let's first make you dizzy, because that's always fun. And then we will go ahead and come in here properly. So now I'm coming in a little quickly. We're going to slow it down a moment. Right now, I'm actually coming in way too fast. Okay, I'll take the brakes off so I can just coast in now. Coast in, I said. Thank you. I'm not going to stop when I actually couple. I'm going to keep going, like I said. So I'm going to head back here now and see how much room I have. I go back just a little bit more. To get a little closer to the buffer here. Nope, that's enough. I can't overshoot the buffer. I'll hit the brakes now so I don't overshoot it. I'll take it off. Actually, put a little bit back on. But I want to leave a little room for the next train to pick these cars up so they don't have to back into the buffer, so I'm going to stop here. This should be good. I'm going to go ahead and detach everything back at the front of the cab. And, yeah, we need to detach 401. Yeah, those ones just picked up. So we're going to head back over to this car. We're going to detach. That's that. Just as note, while you were finishing up this task, arriving on the same train today as double stack for 6 empty grain hoppers. These are the remaining cars on track 4. Pick these cars up next. And drop them off at Monument Granary 1. They're loading unloading track. Roger. I have my brakes on. This is not good. So back into the cab for a moment. So I pulled those cars up earlier, and the reason I did that was obviously because I knew I was going to need them. The task list said so. So I'm going to get far enough to reach this track, then I'll hit the brakes. That'll do. That'll do, I said. And over to the mini-map once again. We're going to go ahead and back up, back where we started. To the previous set of cars right there on that track. The ones I already moved up a little bit. Brakes off. Throttle on. That should be good to back up without derailing here. We are going the correct direction here, so I'm going to go ahead and head back to my cars again. The ones I pulled up earlier, which are these ones, the red ones, we're going to move them next. So as I reach the merge to the track, I'm going to slow down. Now I can go up to 15, but there is no reason to go that fast in these activities because everything is fairly close together. If there was a little more space, I would go as high as 15. So I'm going to slam those brakes now because I actually increased speed a little more than I intended to there. But now I'll take it off. And I slow down a little too much now, so let's put some gas back on. Come in at about 2. Brakes. Perfect. Forward. Onwards. And all I need to do at this point, I'm going to zip up for a second. All I need to do at this point is get clear of this track, because the track we're going to be following goes all the way back there to that building. So once we get clear of this track, we can proceed. So I'm going to watch this junction up here, make sure we get clear of this junction. The other tracks I know are fine, so I just want to make sure I'm clear of this switch. For this one, I will speed up a little bit. We only have 6 cars here, so that's our 3rd one, that's our 4th one. I'll slow down when I see the 6th one. I didn't get up to full speed, so I'll just maintain for a moment. Now I'll slow down. Okay. let's put the reverser into reverse now. Did I go up far enough? Let's see. I should be up far enough. If I follow this track right here where the merge is, you can see that the merge completes here. Actually, no, I'm going to go up slightly more just to be safe. Just to be safe, I'm going to go up a wee bit more. Because I seem to still be on the switch here a little bit. So let's move up. Just to be safe. I just want to be safe. So here I am. This is where I am. I'm going to hit this switch. I'm going to go back here, past our starting point. We're going to reverse into Monument. What was it called? Monument Granary 1. So I'm going to be hopping back into the cab for a moment. Let's go ahead and hit the reverser back to reverse. That'd be ideal. Now let's check the back of the train. For this one, I am going to go ahead and get up to 15 because we got a bit of a trek here. I'm taking the throttle right off at this point. We're going to go past our starting point. If we were coming into that track, we'd be probably crashing right about now. We're going fast enough to do that. I've already taken us off of track 2, so we should be good for backing up here. As you can see the gate coming up here. We're going to go ahead and pull into there. Let's make sure we're clear of this track. And here we go. Okay, so we've gone ahead and made our drop off. Let's go ahead and disconnect our cars. And there we go. We're going to get another direction now. Going great. Part of that same train that came in earlier today was placed on track 2. Those cars will need dispersing as well. Whoops. The 4 leading tank cars will need to be picked up from track 2 and then placed on track 5 with the other tanker cars on track 5. Roger. So we're going to move ourselves forward again. Bringing up the HUD again, you can see I am once again a single solo train. We have 5 tasks left, including going back where we started. So we're going to go ahead and zip forward here because we got all this track to ourselves. Now, this is my second time cutting this scenario. The reason this is the second time is because the first time the train wasn't behaving properly from this point onwards. I tried to show off the other brakes, the dynamic brake and the loco brake, which you can actually see them all on the F4 HUD. You can actually see the different brakes. You can select which one you want to have shown. So if I go back to the F3 HUD, you can see I now have the, well, it still says the train brake, but now it says loco brake, now it says the dynamic brake. So you can actually see any of the 3 brakes there and they'll all work. But I'm not going to play with them this time because doing that, as soon as I played with the dynamic brake on this scenario, it screwed up the train. So I don't know if there's something wrong with the dynamic brake on this train, but it screwed up how the train behaved. I had to try and drive it differently. I didn't really like that. So needless to say, I'm just going to go ahead and keep using the train brake like I am. It's not normal on trains today, and other models of the ST40 and other trains that use the air brakes, you can actually throttle through those brakes at a low level setting. So that's what I'm more likely to do in a yard on those models. This model I have unlimited use of the train brake, no air restrictions, so I'm just going to go ahead and use it. So I'm starting to slow down here because I want to make sure I go the correct track. As you can see, my goal is right here. I am not past that point yet. It's all the way up there near the signal, which means I should not be coming to a stop. So let's put the throttle back on. So we want to get a little closer to the, whoopsie, not on the main line. We want to get a little closer to the signal up here. We want to get up to where that signal is green right now, basically. Whoa, not increase, down. Now I've taken the brakes off. I'm going to go right up to the signal because why not? I know that's plenty of room. Now I'm going to hit the brakes. Once again, right up to the signal and not past it. How do you like that? That's what you call... Whoops, wrong side. That's what you call accuracy right there. So let's go ahead and get into the, whoops, not that. Yeah, I guess we can do that. Let's go ahead and hit this switch. Switch has been pulled. And we're now going to go ahead and make sure we're backing into the correct train over here. So let's check our goal again. We're going into Monument Yard 2. Well, Monument Yard 2 is to the left, is right where the C is on that text. The capital C is over that marker. There's another train going by, I think. Hello. How you doing, sir? That's a 1522 mixed freight. Excellent, excellent. AI traffic is a wonderful thing. So let's make sure we're going to the correct track here. There's that train going by right there on the right. So we are going to the correct track. We can back up. Let's get back into our cab for now, I guess. Reverser down. We're going to get ourselves going again, and once I have enough speed, I'm going to get out and hop on the back of the train. Alright, let's hop on the back of the train now. Preferably not zoomed in. I don't know why I'm zoomed in. Am I zoomed in more than I should be? What gives here? I am zoomed in permanently. I can't use this view anymore. I really can't use that view anymore. Oh boy. I cannot use that view anymore. I somehow have permanently zoomed in train. I'm just going to make sure which track is it going. I don't believe it's the one on the left. I don't believe it's the one on the right of those two, I mean, but just in case it is, I'm going to slow down now. Nope, we're on the other track, so we're good. Back up just a little more, and I'm going over to here. Actually, I'm going all the way back here. My goodness. That's where I'm going, right here. In between these cars. So a little more gas. Or diesel, whatever you want to call it. Because it is diesel. Makes sense, right? So here's our coupling point right there. Not really a good way to see this one connect, so I'm just going to go ahead and give you what I can here. Gonna slow down a little bit now so I'm not coming in too fast, so I can reposition to see what I'm doing. Okay, 4 is good enough for now. Let's do it this way. That should be good. Train is coming in. Slow down a little bit, please. And completely as we capture. Done. So once again, we're going to have to disengage some cars here, but I'm looking ahead at the next step. Couple to the front of our train, next step. So that means we're going to leave these cars back at this side, because we're going to have to eventually come around to the back to couple of these other guys on the other side. So for now, we're going to take just the 4 cars we need. We're going to leave them. We could theoretically back up a little bit more, but I'm just going to go ahead and leave them right here so I have room to come in. So I'm going to go ahead and eventually get in here. Woo, that's not how I want to do it. Let's do it this way. Guys, can we decouple, please? Thank you. So, we're gonna be going to yard 5 at this point. Where's yard 5? Let's check our map. Yard 5 is right there. So if we did not back these cars up enough, we would have had a hard time getting to yard 5, obviously. So that's why we had to back up those cars. So we're going to get to yard 5, back up to those 5 cars now. We're going to have to definitely back those ones up towards the buffer. We're not going to have enough room anyway to get to our final end goal. But in order to get to that yard, we have to once again get to the front where the signal is. I think this time we have to go past the signal. There's no way around it this time. We have to go past the signal. So we're going to go ahead and take advantage of our signal location and go past it. Now if we check the map up there, our path should be clear to let us onto the line at this point. So yeah, we're technically clear to go on the line if we wanted to. We're not going to be doing that. We're not going to be going all the way up here, don't worry. Why am I zooming around so much? The line is clear all the way to there basically right now. But we're only going to go ahead and get as far as we need to and then back into the yard again. That's all we're going to do. Let's check our top view again. Yep, we are zoomed in way too much. Hello. I don't know why we're... Oh, now we're still zoomed in way too much. I think this zoom is too much. I don't think it's supposed to be this far forward. But in any case, let's hop out of the train. I want to keep an eye on the switch over here. Let's hide you. I want to keep an eye on the switch over here. So let's follow the train. Whoa, slow down, slow down, slow down. Brake, brake, brake. Too much. Too much. So there's our signal. We are going to go past it because we have to get to the switch anyway, so I don't care about that. Now as you can see, the signal turns red as we pass it. There's the switch I need to pass. Going to give myself a little bit of room. And brakes. Let's hit that switch now. I'm going to back up a little bit just so I'm clear of the track. Just because that's the appropriate thing to do. I'm going to clear myself of the track as I get onto the switch. But I'm not going to go too far to get to the next point yet. I'm moving around a little more than I should be here. Let's do this. Though I'm not happy with this view right now, we're going to go ahead and use it. Something coming from somewhere? Or is that me? Oh, something's working over there, it looks like. Okay. That might be what that noise is. Okay, so I'm going to stop here for a second. I should be clear of the main line now, I believe, right? Not quite. Not quite. The signal is right there, so I'm going to get back just a wee bit more. That'll do for now. Let's hit the brakes. Because I don't want to go too far onto the switch without knowing what I'm doing. Woo! That was a little closer than I intended. So we're going to detach. The switch I'm going to hit, of course, is this one. But because there are 3 different settings for it, I want to make sure I get the correct one. So I'm going to cheat on this one and use the mini-map. Why not? So I want to go to yard 5, which is that one. So we need to connect here. We can now back up. Oh, I can take the brakes off too. That'd be a nice thing to do. We'll make sure that we're going down the correct track at this point. A little more gas, please. So should we go down the central track? It looks like we are. We are definitely going down the central track. That's what I'd like to see. So I'm going to zip over to these cars over here. Once again, we're going to go for an aero review here. Put a little more throttle on until I get into the picture. Now, if I was trying to speed run this scenario, I'd be failing right now. That's all I'm going to say. If I was speed running, I'd be failing. I better slow down. So I've slowed down. I'm going to go ahead and put some throttle back on so I can back these cars towards their buffer. That gives me more room. So a little more throttle, please. Once again, I'm going to try to leave a little bit of room here. Going to apply some brakes now. Let's see how much room I have left at the front of the train. I'd go just a little bit more, I think. Back of the train. Yeah, we got room. That'll do. So back to the front of the train. I'm going to detach from the front of the train. Going to put the reverser forwards first of all, so I'm ready to go. Take the brakes off as I... Whoops, that's not the brakes. Take the brakes off as I do this. Ah, there we go. Keep going, we're almost done. The last of the train cars to be moved are the 4 auto racks on track 2. The train is leaving for Denver tomorrow and is being readied on track 1. So as noted, we have to find a different way to connect to this one. So we're going to go ahead and pop up to the signal. Those auto racks are bound for Denver. So maneuver your engine so you front couple to the 4 auto racks, meaning the front of our train is going to bump into them, and place them on the rear of the train on track 1. To the rear of the train on track 1. The rear of the train on track 1 would be the coil cars. After you are finished, return your engine to the engine service siding and the scenario will end automatically. Roger. So I'm going to move up to the signal again because we don't need to pass it this time. We can stop at the signal. But if we pass, it's not a big deal. It is green after all. So I'm going to start slowing down again now. Now, I want to investigate the source of that noise that I am hearing, so I'm going to go ahead and do that very, very briefly as I come to a stop here. The source of the noise I'm hearing appears to be not this truck. There's something over here that is the source of the noise. I think this building is just doing some work right now. Ah, this building's doing some work right now, I think. How's this for a picture spot, boys and girls? How's this for a picture spot? Nice! Okay, let's get on the mini-map and let's find our way around the track here, because we need to get back to where we need to go here. I'm going to move all these tracks over, so I'm taking this unnamed through track, which will take me over to here. That means I'm going to be clear on to Monument Yard Approach South. I'm going to clear on to Monument Yard Approach South. So reverser on, and on, whoopsie, did it again. On this one I can go the speed limit. Let's go ahead and take a look from this cab. This side of the cab. Okay. Nice. Beauty. Beauty. Okay, back over here. You can actually cross between the two cabs too, as you can see. So I'm going to go the full 15 here. Why not? Not quite 15. There we go. That's the train we're going to be connecting to. That's not what we're picking up. What we're picking up on those are those 4, I believe there are 2 tracks over. I will check that on the map when we get there. As you see right now, we are coasting. When the train was not behaving on my previous cut, I would actually be... My brake was actually on with a level 1 throttle. I don't know why that was. The brakes just got mixed up. So I'm just going to go ahead and use the train properly this time with the regular train brake. That's all I need to do. I wonder if the dynamic brake is actually broken on this train. That might have something to do with it. In any case, we know that our track is clear. There's a road over there with some vehicles going by in the background. Very nice. If you notice the other road over here too, look at that. Little dirt road going down here to meet that road. Well, that's a different road. Then this road comes down here. It turns to meet this road. This is the main road. Whee! How far does this road go? Let's find out. This actually goes a long way. I'm surprised. Oh, now it's turning into grass, and that's it. Road over. I might be going too far now. Did I go too far? Was I not paying attention? I was not paying attention. But you know what? I've gone far enough that I can actually figure out what track I need to go on now. This is acceptable. I'm not going to show you the end of the yard here, theoretically. So I went to the wrong step. I want this step. So I want a couple to Monument Yard 2. Monument Yard 2, which is these 4. I was just there before. So I'm already set for that track on that switch. I just need to get the rest of the switches set. There we go. There we go. We're now set for Monument Yard 2. I'm going to put a tiny bit of gas on here. Not very much because I'm going to go ahead and show you the end of the track here, because why not? Good enough for now. Let's show you the end of the track, shall we? If we continue down towards the so-called Denver path here, we saw those green signals. We're not allowed to exit, but if we were to exit, nice little area over here. The track continues around a turn, and it actually ends in the trees up there. So we're not going to go ahead and head up there. There's no reason to. But it does end up there. Now, it might have been neat if the track did go on for beyond out of range of our train, so we couldn't actually travel down it with the free cam. You would have had to drive down with the actual train to see the end of the track. Would have added a little more realism to it if a full 2 miles were added, but they didn't see a reason to create more than they needed to for fictional routes, so they just left it at that. If everyone really wants to have fun with it, they can take Castle Rock or the other 2 fictional railroads, take the workshop version. They can actually, anyone can build onto those routes and create a enhanced version of the route that has even more stuff to do. Like, anyone can do that. It's a fictional route. As long as it stays in the workshop and it's for free and no one's being charged for it any money, then you can in theory do that. I think my coupling view is going to work on this one, so let's go ahead and get my gas down quite a bit here. We'll start with this view. You saw my number, 3334. Cut a little more of the throttle off of there. The speed, rather. And my coupling view will work for this one, so I'm going to go ahead and just slow down a wee bit more. And we're going to watch the coupling view do its thing here. Watching for a shadow. I'm showing you things that won't break the scenario. There we go. Brakes. Are you joking? I didn't go far enough. Are you joking? I didn't go far enough. Ha ha ha! Here we go again. There we go. Now I can back up. So we're going to pull this out of here now, and as you can see, we're just going to pull the whole thing backwards. Our front view is relatively useless at this point, because now we got cars in front of us. We can look behind us if we want to see where we're going, which we're going to do. A little more throttle, why not? Get to hear the engine. Whee! So that signal at the end of the yard is a quarter of a mile away. And then you go maybe a little less than a mile down the track, and that's the end of the track. So now we can kind of keep an eye in front of us a little bit here, but we're going to have a hard time keeping an eye in front of us. Because now that car's going to get in our way, we're not going to see much anymore. So we need a sort of a landmark to know when we're far enough. We don't really have one. I think that crossover track back there, though, not the one we're passing right now, but the one back there a little further, is definitely going to be far enough to know that we went as far as we need to go here. So I'm going to stop around that crossover track. This is just a little bit of a judgment call here. It's kind of hard to know. But with 4 cars, I think that's plenty of room. Brakes are apparently kicking in. I haven't done anything with them, but they're operating correctly. I know that in this case they're operating properly. So it's not something I did. Are all the cars up there? I can't really tell. We're going to guess it and say that they are. And if I look on the mini-map right now, you can see indeed that they are. So we're going to head back here. Our next step is not to take that track, but to cross onto this track. Which, actually, I need to keep that switch on. What am I doing? That switch needs to stay on. So we're coming onto this track. I actually planned for the wrong track. But that's where we need to go. I'm going to go ahead and move forward. This is one where I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of the guy at the front of the train in the yard, who's going to be doing some work for us to make sure that we don't crash. He's going to be the one keeping an eye on us, telling us when to go, because we can't really see anything from the cab here. Unless we do that. And we still can't really see anything from the cab. So, we could just do it this way, because this is the front of our train. Let's go ahead and do it realistically and get the guy in the yard to tell us what we're doing. Whee! You can come in. Let's go ahead and put the throttle on. We're going to go ahead and play this one a little bit more speedy here so I can get onto the track. I mean, that's not a conditional, but why not make it one? So you can see the track I'm on right now is that track. It is the correct track. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom down in here. We're going to walk. Ooh, now I'm kind of a little fast. Let's slow it down. I did not want to get up to 15, so that's a little too fast. Let's actually hit the brakes heavily. Heavy braking, please. Now we're going to take it off. And tell you what, let's go ahead and remove this so you can see exactly what we're doing. That's done. Bring the HUD back up. Head to the front. Head to the back of the train at this point, which is where we are. We're going to go ahead and detach these suckers here. As you can see, all of our tasks are complete. We just have to go ahead and park ourselves at the yard. So I'm going to head right back down the track we were just previously on. Reverse. Brakes, please. Thank you very much. We're going to head back out. There's the front of our train. We're going to slap those brakes now. We're clear the switch. Now we have multiple choices for where we can go here. We can go multiple directions here, because all we have to do is get back to this yard right here, but we want to try and find the best way to get here. So the best way to get here, we're going to have to do that first of all. There are cars on this track, and that's not a track we can use anyway. Those are cabooses. Monument Yard 4 is clear. We can come all the way up here. Whoops. We can come all the way up here if we want to. And that is an option that we do have. I may actually very well do that, because that's a very viable option. We can head up Monument Yard 4. We don't have to go all the way to the signal. We just have to go to that point right there, make the curve to the right, and then back up. We can also come down the track we were just on, but then we have to go a bit further to get back to the signal. And there's no reason to go all the way back to the signal if we don't have to. So we're going to go ahead and just take this shorter track, and hopefully we're not marked as being off the path here. So reverse or forward. So you can do this multiple ways. You don't have to do it one specific way. That's the neat thing about these kind of steroids. You can find whatever path you want to take that you feel comfortable taking. If you're looking at a specific goal, however, the scenario may sometimes tell you that you're off the track, and it may threaten you with a game over if you don't get back on the track quickly. If that's the case, then you have to do it a specific way. You have to follow the track they want you to take. So you have to back up, you have to do it again. As long as you get back within the assigned path within 60 seconds, you do not get a game over. And I think you would have seen this on some of the Cahun Pass scenarios that we already did. The Cahun Pass scenarios, you actually saw a couple times I got threatened with such a game over. And there was one cut I actually did get a game over because I didn't realize I was on the wrong track until it was too late and I didn't get back in time. I was about 4 or 5 seconds away from getting back on the track. So, you didn't see that cut. You did not see that cut. It might show up in a blooper if I kept the video, but I might have deleted the video by now. I'm trying to keep whatever bloopers I can if I remember them, and then I'll make a blooper reel at some point once I have enough of them. But for right now, I don't. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about the ones I remember, and you may see them later, you may not. So we're coming up to the curve we want here, and just to show the switch is set correctly, let's head back here. There's my blue path, which should be going to here, actually. There we go. Just give me all the room I need. Not that I'm going to need it. So throttle is off. I can go ahead and hit the brakes now because I'm going to pass that switch by the time I get there. That'll do. So once again, I want to get back to this spot, which means all those switches are set correctly. So just to show that, let's put the reverser back. I'll inch backward just a wee bit to show that the path I'm going to be taking. Inch backward a wee bit, thank you. So you can see that I'm not on that path yet. I'm also not on the correct track. I need to move up a little bit more. That would have been a derailment if I did that, so I'm going to move up a little bit more. Whoopsie. So that's the track I want to clear. That'll do. So now you can see that I am clear to go back to that track. I'm going to go ahead and hit the brakes now. And let's watch it from this view. Why not? Why not watch it from this view? So there we go. Reverser backwards. And in the other direction now. All right. Just look behind us now. Make sure we don't overshoot the buffer here. So as you can see, our final stop marker is up there, 0.12 miles away. That's where we're stopping. We just have to get into the yellow area, so not the refuel point, but the yellow area we have to get into. How's our placement now? Oh, we're getting close. So I'm going to put a little bit of brakes on so I can slow down, get hopefully a little bit of a better view here on the HUD. Now we're not going to get it. I changed my view because I want to see if I can park next to the building. I don't know if I'm going to be able to. So we're down to 3 right now. We're not quite at the point yet. Now we are at the point. So there's the building. Let's go ahead and stop next to the building, shall we? That's a good enough spot to stop. And we're done. So that should complete the scenario in just a moment. Well done, you've successfully completed the yard classification and all cars are set for tomorrow. Excellent. Ooh, excuse me. Moving on back to the scenario summary. So we are going to be continuing next time with one of the other 4 scenarios on the DLC. I'm going to actually check which one that is because I actually have already, since I'm recutting this, I've already played them all. So I'm just going to check on my list here which one it is so I can give you the right information. So I give you the right order, obviously. I don't want to give you the wrong order. So if I bring up the... By the way, the manual for Castle Rock is only located in the Railworks 2 manual, which is the old version of the manual from 2009, 2010-ish, somewhere in that area, 2012. Is where I got it, so it's part of the 2012 version of the manual, which I think is the same one. The copyright says 2010 on the manual. So that's where the Castle Rock manual actually is. You're going to find Castle Rock in the Railworks 2 manual includes Oxford to Paddington, which is now Great Western Main Line, I believe, or Great Eastern Main Line, one of those. York to Newcastle, that's another one of those. And these have all been renamed, by the way. Hagen Siegen, which is now the Brewer Sieg line. Bath Templecombe, which I think is North Somerset Railway. And then Barstow to San Bernardino, which is obviously Cahill Pass, because I've already played that. You've seen that. And then Headborough North and Seaburg Bon. Sorry. Those are the other 2 fictional routes. You get 8 routes in the Railworks 2 package. If you're lucky to find a 2012 edition on Steam or an older edition that includes the BNSF model, go ahead and get it. One of them was selling for like $100, but go ahead and get it if you can. You can actually get the old classic manuals if you want to have those as well. Me, I just want the codes, and I said you can throw out everything once I confirm the code works, and the salesperson did that, thankfully, so I didn't have to spend the extra money for shipping. Would have been another $35 to ship it. But if you can get the key for that, go ahead and do that, because you can get some classic routes, and you're going to download all 8 routes. All 5 routes that are additional to these fictional routes, including Cahoon Pass, which if you're not in the US, you cannot get Cahoon Pass. This is the only way now that you can get Cahoon Pass, by finding an old Railworks 2, Railworks 3 key. So if you can get these routes, go ahead and do it. You can play these scenarios too. Otherwise, there is a workshop version of these fictional routes. You can get them for free, because they're no longer included with the game, and you can't even buy the routes as they are anymore. So you get the fictional version. You won't get any of the scenarios, but you can find some other scenarios in the workshop. And I may or may not include these scenarios in the workshop. If I can make workshop-friendly versions of these scenarios, I will create them for the workshop. And I will attach them as links to these videos. But that's only if I do that. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that or not. I'm not really good with the workshop stuff yet. But if I can turn these into workshop scenarios, I will. You can play them, and you can enjoy them as well. So if I can do that, I'll include links on the videos. Otherwise, I will see you next time for the next scenario on this route. Cement load to Castle Rock is the scenario. The other scenarios we're going to be seeing in this stretch of scenarios are coal empties to Monument, deliveries to Monument, intermodal transport to Monument. In some order. I don't have those in the right order necessarily. But I can tell you cement load to Castle Rock is definitely the next certain area we will see. Come back next time to see that. For now, go ahead and like this video. I apparently exceeded freight comfort level. Whoops. So go ahead and like this video. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. You will see more of this. Apparently I took 49 minutes on this half-hour scenario. But yeah, I wanted to make sure I explained everything that was going on. So hopefully you got what we needed there. And I will see you next time for our cement load to Castle Rock. I'm Cycle. Have a wonderful day, evening, or night, whatever it is for you at your part of the world. See you next time. Bye-bye.